Hi everyone, hope you're all doing well, and today we're going to talk about Card Factory stock, which had an amazing day yesterday. The stock is up around about 10%, and overall we are now, well, personally I'm nearly up 100%. I know some of you guys from the Discord as well, some of you guys are saying now you're up even more than 100%, so well done to you guys. Obviously some amazing gains going on with Card Factory, and as well as that there was some big news that came out yesterday which really did help the stock go up and also build a good base as well to go even higher up from here. So just a little shout out to them Card Factory Bears. Not seen them in the comments for a couple of months now, so they've kind of disappeared off the scene. They've gone and joined probably the Pinterest and Tesla crew, or maybe they've changed their skills, but even them guys are struggling a little bit now. But yeah, really good to get another 100% member into the portfolio. We've had quite a lot over the last 12 months, and yeah, if you could smash the like button for these stocks that I do bring you for free on YouTube, that'd be absolutely amazing. We also, by the way, we did a exclusive episode on Patreon yesterday. It's about half an hour long. If you do want to join, there's a link in the description. That exclusive episode on Patreon that was half an hour long was basically talking about ETFs and also talking about how to decide how big a position in your portfolio should be. So kind of like judging on the size and different situations that might happen that might change that position size. And yeah, we'll be doing a lot of education videos on Patreon as well. So there'll be another one next week. So yeah, if you do want to see that, it's on the Patreon. It's half an hour long. And if you do want to start investing, some links to some brokers as well. But we'll talk about Card Factory. We've not really talked about too many UK stocks at the moment just because the UK scene is just kind of steadily going up in the background, and like I always say, you know, most of the time when stocks start going up, I don't really talk about them. I only talk about stocks when they're actually going down because that's the time to go buy them. But Card Factory, I feel like Card Factory was worth making a video on because lots happened with this stock, and I know some of you guys are in this one, and I also still want to keep putting some UK content out there. Now, this is the company that is starting to do some really good returns. But you know, it wasn't always that easy with being in Card Factory. I know some of you guys that are probably in Card Factory will have been through the same situation as me, where at some points Card Factory was, I think at one point I was even down 30% on my position, but quite often I was like 20% down on my position. But Card Factory was one of those stocks that did really test you as an investor, and you had to have that confidence in the company, understand the company, know where their outcome will be, you know, 6 to 12 months down the line after investing into it. Wait for the bull case to come into effect, which is starting to come into effect now, and that's hence why the stock's up, you know, over 100%. But it was really a big test because when you invest into a company and then, you know, next kind of couple of months you go down 20-30%, you know, it's that kind of, are you confident enough in the company? Have you got that, you know, disconnect from the emotions, the bottle, the confidence to hold the company? And if you have, then you know you'll see them rewards coming in now because the stock is doing phenomenal, especially after yesterday with the news that came out of this company. So yeah, just I thought as well I would say that about Card Factory. You know, this was definitely a stock that did test the emotions and the confidence in the bottle of investors as well. So if you're still holding it now and you've got the rewards, congrats to you guys, because it was pretty tricky, especially when all them bears were out as well. Now, the news pretty much came off a trading update, what the company released, and we're going to get more information. They were supposed to do a trading update, I think it was 2 weeks ago, but they've decided to knock it back. There was a few problems, and as well as that, it works very well because we'll be able to get more numbers of how well the reopening's going as well, which is pretty good. So yeah, we were supposed to get a trading update I think about 2 weeks ago, but that's now going to come on the 12th of June. So we only have to wait, you know, 6-7 weeks for that. So not too long. But there was a trading update that was released by Card Factory the other day, which was first of all, what was said on there is there was a strong opening. So at the moment, a lot of like the stores, I think it's in believe Wales, England, and I think just now Scotland and Northern Ireland have just opened up. But from what has been opened, which is England and I believe Wales, they said that the store openings had been very strong and better than expected. Now obviously you can kind of take that a few ways, because you could say, well, what is better than expected? What did Card Factory expect the open to be like? But from what I've seen, you know, it has been pretty busy and it should ramp up. So yeah, what's good is that we've got the trading update, so we'll have a good idea what that kind of is in a few weeks' time. But it seems positive, you know, strong opening up. So yeah, we got that, and also there was a statement in there saying that there had been a refinancing agreement put in place, which is what we kind of needed, because as we know, Card Factory, the big problem we've had about this company is that its balance sheet. And that's why the company was so cheap. The company was so cheap because of the balance sheet, and there was the fear of bankruptcy, and that was what really needed sorting out. So there has been a refinancing agreement put in place, so that should give Card Factory enough cash now to kind of see it through the next kind of couple of months. They'll probably be able to, refinance the debt they currently have, and hopefully they've had a little bit more cash injection as well, which will help them. So we won't find out that exactly probably until the trading update on the 12th of June. But this is the only little uncertainty that we had with this stock, is that we didn't know exactly how they stood on the balance sheet, debt-wise and cash-wise. So it looks like this company has now got rid of the risk of bankruptcy, because it looks like it probably will have sorted its debt out. Hopefully it's raised a little bit more cash. And the thing is with this company is that we know Card Factory is historically a profitable company. So as soon as we get opened up and the shops open up and everything like that, we know this company will start bringing back in the cash. From a refinancing point of view, this was the only little one thing that I still wanted to see the company confirm they've sorted it out. Obviously we don't know the details, but that's great to hear. So that kind of puts any kind of, I've always said that Card Factory was a higher risk stock, but the higher risk part of it is starting to go now that this is sorted out. We'll have to wait until we get the full details, but it looks pretty good from that point of view. That's obviously the main reason why the stock went up yesterday a huge amount. So I guess that kind of leaves me like an update on where I am selling this company, because obviously I'm up nearly 100% on this company right now. And obviously at some point you want to sell the company, and I've always said Card Factory, for me, Card Factory is not an amazing company. Sure, the revenues always historically grown, but profit hasn't grown much. The balance sheet isn't amazing, and let's be honest, Card Factory are not going to take over the world. There's a ceiling, and Card Factory are near the ceiling. They've done well to kind of expand into supermarkets. They've done well to expand into other countries at last. The card market, there's a lot more competition online. Card Factory is near the ceiling, and it's never going to be a game-changing company like a Teledoc or I know it's a Teletubby instead of Teledoc, a Tesla or anything like that. It's not on them sort of levels. It's just sometimes there's great. We're going to say great, because it's probably not even a great company, but it's a good company, and it's at a bankruptcy price. And that's what you can, like, as an investor, you look and think, the share price isn't reflecting the company. And this is why I stepped into this one. Now, the share price is starting to get back to reflecting where the company is, but still, it's dirt cheap. It's dirt cheap at the moment. And for me, an update on when I would sell it, I personally would like to see Card Factory put in a full year of store opened sales. That would be something I'd like to see. I'd also like to see them put in a full Christmas sales through there, because obviously, like last year at Christmas, the shops were kind of open. There were some local lockdowns. There was also still a lot of restrictions and social distancing that might mean people went online a bit more last year. So I'd like them to kind of put a full sales in with no restrictions, and also I'd like them to get a Christmas sales under the belt as well. So for me, I'm still kind of like at least 12 months off from selling this. We'll see what exactly happens. Maybe even 2 Christmas periods. So for me, I am going to sell out this company in the next kind of 12 to 24 months. I am going to sell out at some point there, because like I say, there's a certain point where it gets back to near pre-CV levels, and then there's not much more growth left in the company. But when they do kind of get, what the thing is as well as with a lot of these companies, is the next year when everything is kind of like back to normal, all these kind of companies are going to put in like crazy numbers. Like Card Factory will be putting in, like, because the sales were so low, they'll be putting in like 100% growth in like the next year. It will look kind of exaggerated on like the when they actually report earnings, but I'm still kind of like 12, 24 months off selling this one, because I still at least want a full year sales and a Christmas period in, and then maybe even maybe a second one as well. But I will sell in probably the next 12 to 24 months. More than likely, it'll be a bit more of a reflection on where the share price is, because at the moment I think it's like 80p or something. I've always said, like, for me, £1.50 would be where I'd like to sell Card Factory. Even then, it's still probably like another 100% upside from here, to be fair. So yeah, I still think there's a lot more room to go yet. So that's probably where I would love to sell out the company. Even then, if it went back to what we were doing pre-CV, it's still putting like a P ratio of like 7 or something, which is extremely cheap even then at £1.50. So even then, I think I'm sandbagging where I'd like to make money. But if we say worst case scenario, I do sell out this company for £1.50. I'm still going to make up a nice return. I'm still going to triple my investment into this company. And like I said, that, to get triple your money in like 2 years is pretty good going. So or maybe even 3 years. To triple your money in 2 to 3 years is pretty good going. Even now, to double my money in under 12 months is pretty good as well. There's not many investments that you can make that then you go double, triple your money in that amount of time. So it's really good going. And yeah, it's great just to see. It's funny because this is another company that goes onto the list of like, there's the bull case, wait for it to come effect in the next kind of 6 to 12 months. Obviously, this is one of those that has happened a little bit quicker than what I thought it would, which is always great. It's always good to get them home runs in early. But it's always great to see, like, in the midst of like being down, 10, 20, 30%, and then you see the bull case come into effect in the next 6 to 12 months, make a nice return, and then hopefully we do sell it out for a little bit of profit, which it hasn't happened yet, so don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. But it's always funny that in all this kind of stuff, that what happens with this sort of company, that it goes down and all of a sudden all the bears come out, and then 6 to 12 months the bull case starts kicking in, and then you make the nice profit. It is funny just seeing all of a sudden all the comments getting deleted off the past videos and everything, but it's great. And yeah, I'm really happy with this investment. And yeah, hopefully in the next 6 to 12 months, instead of this saying Card Factory here, hopefully have a few other companies that pop up as well, which I'm sure we will. I think this is the 5th 100% return member in the UK portfolio in the last 12 months, which is amazing, absolutely amazing. And yeah, I think we nearly double figures in the last 12 months as well, for over 100% return stocks as well, which is fantastic. So yeah, really happy how everything's going. And for you guys that are making or invested in Card Factory, hopefully this video was useful for you and just an update where I'm with like selling the company as well. So hope you enjoyed it. If you could smash the like button if you aren't new, make sure to subscribe as well, and I'll see you next video.